talked with African American members of Congress about the Smithsonian's newest museum.
Congressman Meeks, can you tell us what you think the significance of the new African American Museum on the Mall is to the country?
It is significant. All I keep thinking of in my own mind is growing up myself and going to school and no one knowing the contributions that African Americans had played in our society. Wasn't taught in schools. What I learned was learned primarily from my parents. Now, with this museum, things that I was told or my family was told, or my sisters, my brothers, on a small level, will be opened up to all of America, even internationally, so that people can come and really understand and see that this country would not be what it is today if it wasn't for the contributions of African Americans in almost every walk and facet of life. So it is just tremendously significant to show the contributions, not just for African Americans, but for all of America, to know that this is indeed our country and we contributed to it in as great a fashion as anybody else, if not even more.
How do you see the museum itself fitting into the larger storyline, the passage of the Civil Rights Act some 50 years ago? That first African American president will be opening the museum. Does the museum itself have a role in this larger history?
Well, you know, I can't stop but continue to think of the 44th president of the United States when he was first sworn in, or when he first won the primary even. It was on the eve of the March on Washington. And when he was sworn in, it was right after the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King. And now, before he leaves office, after serving 8 years as President of the United States, this magnificent, gorgeous museum is opening. It means that children yet unborn, when they look at the grand opening of this museum, they will also see the picture of the first African American president of the United States. So I think of it not only in the context of right now, but 50, 100, 150 years from now, the absolute grandness of it will be shared with populations yet unborn and significant to the United States of America in a significant place on the National Mall.
Is there a role, do you think, for the museum in the national conversations we're having now about race?
More important than ever. More important than ever. Some folks are asking, you know, are we better off today than we were before? The question to that is absolutely yes. And the museum is a testament to that. And so those who may have been ignorant to the facts of what African Americans have stood for, what they've done, they will now become educated as a result of this museum. So it's a piece, you know, when you think about the Smithsonian and what they do, it educates people. So this is part of the educational process that is good for all of America, no matter what state you come from, whether it's the East, the West, the North, or the South, whether you come from rural or urban America. This is an educational piece so that we can all have a greater understanding. Too often, in fact, even yesterday, I was in a committee hearing. Too often, some of my colleagues don't understand or don't know the African American experience. Now they will have a chance to come and feel it for themselves and hopefully bring their children, and they can walk away with a better understanding that will continue and further the dialogue so that we can become a more perfect union, because we still have a ways to go, and the museum can help us get there.
What does the museum mean to you personally?
It's emotional. It is really emotional to me. I'm old enough to remember traveling from New York to South Carolina, where my parents lived, and getting off a train and seeing colored and white signs, and seeing my father being talked down to as if he wasn't a man, and seeing friends and understanding that I was told not to go to certain areas, and I couldn't go simply because of the color of my skin, and not really understanding why that was. I can recall in New York others trying to tell me to lower my expectations because a Negro, what they would say in that time, can only get certain types of jobs. This museum will be on this opening so moving to me. The only, I'm equating it to when I went to visit Ghana and I visited the slave castles. The feeling and the echoes of those individuals who were leaving those slave castles, crossing this ocean. They could not have dreamt of this museum and of their ancestors and everyone that contributed to this country that enslaved them. Just the thought of that is so moving to me because there was so much blood, sweat, tears that was given. And yet, as a people, we believed in this country more than others did, and when the country did not believe in us. And now on this federal mall, we're going to have a testament of all that we've been through. That is marvelous.